Hi everyone, it's Suyin here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I feel a little bit chatty. It is the launch day of my digital school business. Oh, I cannot even say that properly. It is the launch day of my digital school and I am very excited. We are hosting a Zoom virtual launch. It was meant to be like a hybrid launch where we launch at our co-working space, which is where we have set up our office. But we're in the middle of a lockdown, so there is only a virtual launch as an option. And I'm excited, I'm nervous. We have a lot to talk about, I guess, today. I never really thought that I would be the kind of person who would set up multiple businesses. I thought I would only work on one business, and I don't know, call me naive, but when I was a child, I wanted to be an entrepreneur for the longest period of time. Even back then, I didn't really understand what was the difference between an entrepreneur and a business person. And I guess I got that idea in my head because I really looked up to my parents. My parents are business people and they are entrepreneurs for sure. And I wanted to be just like them. And when I started working, I joined the workforce as an employee and I was very proud of being a teacher. And at the same time, it was a really big struggle as well because while I love teaching and like sharing and this kind of profession that has to do with people, which I love as well, it's a lot of giving and I'm introverted. So I expend a lot of energy when I interact with the students, when I interact with the parents and teach, right? Or facilitate the learning, as I like to call it. I found it really hard to keep on being a teacher because of pay. And that was such an unfortunate experience because I really do find that teachers are super important in society. They are the point at which everybody will go through in their education experience. And from the schools or from that learning arena is where we are building the future, where we are building future doctors, engineers, pilots, politicians, entrepreneurs, teachers, you name it. There's every sort of person that will go through the education system. And I don't think teachers are paid well at all, especially for the work that they do. And I can say this because I was an international school teacher. Now, being an international school teacher, I had a lot more privileges than public school teachers. And I didn't have to deal with a lot of paperwork. There weren't specific things that I needed to do for my classroom or post-class work. I didn't need to generate reports. I just had a set of things that I needed to do as a teacher. And here's my gripe with all of this. If you're not paying your teachers well, how can you expect them to fully focus on the students? If we cannot take care of ourselves first, how can you expect us to take care of the 25 students in an international school classroom? For public school, it's 50, if not more. And now, schooling is fully online. And the problem with that is a lot of the teaching systems, the curriculums we have are not designed for online learning, and maybe we are not equipped, and we had to do whatever it took to make those online classes happen and the learning to continue for the students. So as you can see, I can go on and on about education and my experience as a teacher, but that's not what we're here for today. We're here for the business part. So after I left teaching, I joined the sales force and I wanted to pick up and practice these skill sets of being a salesperson. And I feel like I've grown a lot as a person being a saleswoman, a salesperson. And I had to deal with a lot of new skills. And a lot of people like to ask me, hey Suyin, that is so crazy. Like you went from being a teacher to selling things. It's so different. How did you cope and how did you navigate that situation? And from my perspective, yes, it is different, but it is also the same in a lot of regards. So I'm still dealing with people, just that the people's ages have now increased significantly and they're adults, right? But generally, when we deal with people, it's very much the same thing. You just need to learn how to entertain. You need to learn how to be a nice person that people would actually want to deal with. And I think building a relationship, being a teacher, that was the thing that allowed me to help my students the most, by genuinely being interested in them, wanting to know about their lives, wanting to know about them as people. And I think in sales, it's pretty much the same thing, where our customers, to a certain degree, do want that relationship, if not at least a pleasant, professional relationship with you. And that makes a big difference. So, how did I start and become a business person? I started a YouTube channel, and the whole reason why I started this YouTube channel was because I miss teaching, and I also really wanted the experience of running a business, or just the legal side of it, where I am a separate entity with my business. And I think it is phenomenal. Everybody needs to, or I highly encourage people to try out running a business, whether it's a sole proprietor, whether it is a limited liability partnership. I don't know where you're from, but here in Malaysia, we have limited liability partnerships, which are kind of like the in-between of a sole prop and a Sendirian Berhad, which is a private limited company. Yeah, so this structure is really good because, one, you get to save on company secretary fees, and you get to audit your own self, and you get to do all the beautiful things that accountants do for your business. What I'm really trying to say here is that when you run a business, the most important thing that I think people should take note of is that taxes. When we pay our taxes as an individual person, we pay it on the income that we have earned. Whereas when you are a business, you are paying taxes off of the profits that you have earned for the business. So the big differences are, as a business, you make money, you make revenue, sales, turnover, whatever you choose to call it. And then you have expenses, the cost it took for you to make those sales and revenue. You get to expense this off. And let's take for example, I'm selling this, okay? I'm selling a glass of water. No, I'm not selling a glass of water. So let's just say I am a seller of cups, glass cups. And let me give a very simple example. Let me say I sell these glass cups for $10. The cost it took for me to make these glasses, let's just call it $2. So after I have minused out what it took for me to make and sell these glass cups, I have a profit of $8. So on that $8 is what I am going to be paying tax for. It's not on the revenue that I've brought in of $10, it's the $8 instead. And this is a very, very powerful lesson that I've learned from Rich Dad Poor Dad. I really do think that book is useful, but you really need to look for the lessons that make sense to you. And this was the biggest lesson for me. Business owners pay less tax legally. And what we can learn from that is we can use a business to expense off things in our life or our lifestyle that we already would be spending on and that we can spend on in our businesses as well. I do this all the time, and I definitely read a lot of books because I value education, I value self-improvement, and it helps me with running my YouTube business in that I read more books and I become a better investor, I become a better speaker, and just a better person in general, and I get to expense all of these off in terms of business expenses. So ends up I will be paying less taxes because of this whole phenomenon right here. And yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to tell you today on top of all the other things I'm talking about. But if you take anything away from this video, that's it. Do run a business so that you can expense off certain things in your life. It's a very, very handy tool. And it's worth exploring, especially for anybody actually. I highly recommend it, and it's interesting. Just like a regular person like me can learn these kind of lessons. I believe you too can as well. I'm gonna be very honest, I'm getting very, very busy in my career and the businesses that I am currently running or the projects that I'm involved in. And the thing about this that I find most exciting is that as a teacher, I was passionate about education and improving the lives of other people. In that case, it was my students. Right now, as a employee, business owner, I don't know what you want to call me, a YouTuber, a person, investor, I am still very passionate about improving the lives of other people just by sharing what I know. And granted, I don't know everything. I am not an expert. I just share what has been working for me and what I do. So yeah, I'm excited that I'm able to couple that sort of Ikigai that we keep looking for as millennials or Gen Zs, of matching the meaning to our passion to things that are able to make us money and things that we can really be good at and master in the long run. And yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to bring up today, because I get very rambly and very nervous when I am about to start something new. And in this case, it is the digital school for grade 6 to grade 12 students who can learn fully online, and it's active learning. And yeah, that's a video for another day, but I highly recommend active learning because the current school systems that we're in right now encourages passive learning, where it's the teachers who are transporting knowledge into your heads, and it's meant to come out in a certain way where it's just about you answering the questions in one particular way that the marking scheme is willing to accept. And that is completely not acceptable, because real life doesn't work that way. There isn't just one right answer. There are many different ways to solve a problem, and we definitely need to work with people, and we definitely also need to have personalities to solve problems, work in teams, and just to, I guess, leave the world a little bit better than when we first entered it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.